A couple of times a year, I like to get us together. We have this beautiful editable document. If you don't have it, please go ahead and open it, save it to your desktop, and you can work in it as we go through the prompts together. This course was born 6 years ago, actually, when I realized that I was getting a lot of questions about how I can do the number of different various things that I do and still have time for myself and still have time for the kid who was, I guess, 13 or so, 12 or 13 at the time. And all of the learnings from every single discipline that I've ever studied has come together in this, which I consider my signature course. Simplify is a way to really clear the way to what you already know. I want to go on the record and say that the cover of this document, the picture was one I absolutely did not want to take. And James and our dear friend DJ, who took the photo, insisted that I stand on a little table outside and hold this piece of fabric. And I just want to encourage you. It's so silly, I know, but if you have the chance to take pictures and you have the chance to do something completely outlandish seeming, this picture has so much energy to it, and I love using it, and so does Michelle, for my collaborator and designer and genius all around for many, many years. Don't be shy. That's a really important point if you're growing or building something. Don't feel silly about taking pictures that might feel silly later, but that will end up being, that's a lot of movement and a lot of real energy. Thank you for indulging that little initial tangent. Let's open to the first page. Simplify has 6 modules, and many hundreds of people have been through this course, and it is one of my favorite things to walk us through kind of a summary of these 6 modules, as we'll do today, as efficiently as we can. But it is unlike any other, this course, insofar as you're invited first to something so seemingly quotidian and mundane. You're invited to just look at in order to recalibrate your schedule. And what you may find as you study your schedule and observe what's on there for the first time, or maybe even the 5th time, I continue to do this work for myself every quarter. I take a look at my schedule and I see what's on there that shouldn't be there, that I maybe didn't consciously choose. As you do this, you find that you've created, in many ways, symptoms and circumstances of obligation that aren't serving. And this is a really important thing to keep in mind as you go through these first prompts for structure, the first module. Your clear mind, and I'm reading this, I'm really taking notes from the very first page of the document. Your clear mind, your caring mind, is what the world needs. It's what your family needs. It's what your colleagues need. If you have parents who are getting older and maybe ailing, it's what they need. It's what your siblings need, whether you're getting along with them or not. And in order to do that, there's a real emphasis on this first module, structure. So we're going to come back to this first page. It's kind of a summary of the course and how it came to be. But let's go to day 1, which is page 3 of the document that you have now, that PDF. And the first prompt is sort of a question for yourself in each one of these pages. It's a question to ask yourself, and I'll read it to you. What does an easeful, smooth day feel like to me in this season? Where will my energy go? What will I do with my mornings? How will it feel to finish my day? So this prompt is really an energetic prompt. And I want you to feel free to write in, if you wish, to the chat some answers to this prompt. I don't, don't feel obliged to do it if it's distracting for you. But I like to think about the energy of my mornings and my days, and certain mornings of the week now, I'm really just slowly moving through a sitting practice, and a bath or a long shower. Like that to me is one of those ridiculously luxurious mornings that I've waited, almost 20 years to have since having a kid. So what is the energy? And I'll give you a moment to work with that, and I'm going to share my screen so that you can see it on your screen in case you can't see it on your own screen. And again, this is editable, so you can write this: an easeful day. I'll give you a couple of seconds more here. It may seem really kind of rudimentary, but actually to really determine what your day can feel like, pick a word, a phrase, an energy. Is a gift that you give to yourself. Natalie Goldberg, who's become very dear to me, says that when you're writing, you receive the world. When you're writing, you receive the world. So there's a very delicate balance I want to point out between my design of this day and the energy of this day and what needs to be true, and my good listening to that. The exercise for module 1 or day 1, if you're taking this PDF over the course of a week, is to take an honest, non-judgmental look at your current schedule. When you take the course, you will find a very detailed exploration of what it means to explore your schedule, to see what's on there that might be an obligation that you didn't intend to keep on there, to identify areas, as it says here in the prompt, where you can refine your priorities and install perhaps more creativity. When I created this course, I was dissolving one business, starting 2 others, finding my feet in leading and teaching courses online. It was right before COVID. And, I wasn't feeling all that confident. And I felt like I needed more time for creativity in my life so that I could be expressing myself, painting, drawing, writing, poetry, as it were. And I created this course to find that more time for my creative work, paradoxically. The actionable task is to rearrange your schedule for one day, to prioritize the most important tasks and incorporate moments of creativity. And in the course, in the larger course, you'll see that there are actually, for the entirety of your week, month, really cool experiments that you can undertake to wipe out certain sections of your day. Like, no, I don't book anything on Fridays anymore unless I really want to. Fridays has a big pink line down the whole day in my Google Cal that says plants, comma, writing. That's what Friday says. If you have the luxury to do that, that's a really nice practice. You can take it one half day, an afternoon, a morning. And the reminder here is to set a reminder to review your schedule at the end of the day to reflect on how the changes have impacted your mood and your productivity. Nobody's prioritizing productivity, of course, but sadly, if you are managing other humans in your household or other humans and a job, productivity matters, you know? And it's nice to have a half an hour where nothing else, there's no phone near me, there's nothing else happening, where I know that this is my time to free write in the morning. So let's go to the next page. Any comments first on this? Fridays for time in nature, nice. Early morning for contemplation and study, coffee with your man, walk with your dog, a few hours working on your business and creative work, afternoons for tending to home and body, evenings for meals. It's so simple. Thank you, Tanya. It's so simple. And yet, Jesus, why don't we do this? Why do we just keep filling our days with things that we're not actually sure that we even want to be doing? Shahab, I'm so glad that you're here. So week 2 in the course, or day 2 here in this offering, is embracing self-empathy. What's so cool about this is I wrote it in 2019. I knew what I had to do, and it wasn't until 2022 that I actually worked very, very closely with Judith Lassiter on nonviolent communication, in which she teaches that self-empathy is literally the most important technology of this time. And embracing self-empathy, consider a moment or a time that you associate with freedom. What does it feel like in your body? What can you see, hear, and taste? Freedom. Were you young? I find a lot of freedom when I read poetry. And while you write, I'm just going to read this one tiny, tiny ryokan poem from, yeah, right, Jax. Causes translation, Sky Above, Great Wind, it's called. I'll read it twice, maybe thrice. I don't regard my life as insufficient. Inside the brushwood gate, there is a moon. There are flowers. I don't regard my life as insufficient. Inside the brushwood gate, there is a moon. There are flowers. Just ridiculous. Page 108 in Sky Above, Great Wind. No, it doesn't let me do italicized. Okay. Yeah. Self-empathy. Lauren sees this also as forgiveness. Alyssa's seeing rituals, moving her body. Rachel, joy, play, laughing, dancing, singing, chanting, walks in nature. Erin recently found a lot of freedom in evening and morning bike rides with children and husband. There is nothing like a bike ride. Standing on your pedals, sailing wherever you are. I could not agree more, Erin. The exercise for today: reflect on self-empathy and recognize areas where you could grant yourself more freedom. Lots recently. I was having this funny, very deleterious conversation in my mind with regard to certain things in my relationship, in my house. I finally started just talking about it, gave myself a bunch of empathy around it. Like, yeah, when I see that happening, I feel really frustrated and exasperated. My need for order isn't being met. Stuff that comes up after a decade. It's been 11 years that you're with your partner. And I just started talking about it. Okay, making simple nonviolent communication requests, and like there's some kind of new freshness, energy here. But it started with self-empathy and recognizing how I feel about it. Like even as small as it could be, the tiniest little things. Any thoughts on this? Areas where you could grant yourself more freedom? I'm curious to hear. I'm going to open the chat again. Running on the beach. Freedom to make mistakes allows you to try new things. Freedom and honesty. Indeed. Erica, nice to see you. Erica Shane. Barry, thank you. Yeah, I've made tons of mistakes lately. Wow. Like really silly ones. And yeah, I'm trying new things. Trying a new cleanse this year. My annual oil change is happening. I just finished week 1. I'm in week 2. I'm trying a new cleanse. A friend is designing one that's actually great. Trying new things is so scary. Actionable task: write a compassionate letter to yourself. And this is something you can do, obviously, and as you go forward after this session, acknowledging your strengths and areas where you need to give yourself more freedom. And I might say also more space, more latitude, more kindness. The quote at the bottom of this page is really important. What is the story I'm telling myself about what's holding me back? Is it true? What's holding me back? Is that true? That you'll do on your own time. I think it's good to move on and come back to this. But the reminder here is to reread your letter at the end of the week and note any changes in the way you perceive yourself. Reread your letter at the end of the week and note any changes you perceive in how you perceive yourself. And I'll show you also, it's really fun to see. In the course itself, stop sharing for a moment. You have PDFs for each one of these modules. So you have, and they're pretty extensive. You have the welcome, you have structure. We've just gone through freedom. So delicious. Ugh. Who safely allows you to expand And now we're coming into design. Okay. And this is where I want to remind you of this receiving business that Natalie points out. When you're writing, you're receiving the world. So even as I'm about to encourage you to design the way that you approach anything, the way that you see yourself, be listening. The prompt here is, what attitude am I designing for this day, for this moment? It's kind of how I fixed it, sort of healed the very subtle rift between my sister and me some years ago. I just started coming at it with a completely different attitude instead of feeling all the time defensive against what she might say or do. I just designed openness, and I came with openness and listening, and things really shifted. I started seeing the relationship through totally different lenses. I created a different past for us. You might have somebody, I'm guessing, with whom you have some challenges, and maybe it's interesting for you to design some different way of looking at the whole matter. I sort of want to read the section of the book that's coming out to you, but James has it in the bath right now. Here's the proofs. I printed them out giant, like this size, even though the book is small. So I'll just let him stay with the book. What attitude are you designing? If you'd like to share it in the chat, you may. And I'll pull it up on my screen once again, just so you have it. Okay, you're working, so don't worry about the chat. Just keep working. The exercise here, reflect on the attitudes you bring to different situations and how they shape your experiences. This is interesting. If we're really honest with ourselves, I bring one attitude to the Zendo, and then I bring another attitude to the party, another attitude to the dinner. I started noticing that some years ago, and it was exhausting. And I decided I wanted to be the same person no matter where I was going. And I used the time in the Zendo, Jax, you'll appreciate this, as like the benchmark. Okay, who am I when I walk in there? Boy, my spine is tall. My energy is clear. I'm very measured. I'm really listening. I'm very humble because the silence is so deafening. And I started to bring that vibration to all the things, including the party, including the dinner, the social things, the big teaching gigs, whatever, the small teaching gigs. And it really changed the way that I feel. And it changed the shape of things a great deal. And I'm encouraging you here in this exercise to set a positive and intentional attitude for the day. As you consider how you want to approach your tasks and interactions and challenges, take that or leave it. Maybe you want to set a neutral attitude. I don't know. Maybe that would serve you really well. So you decide what the attitude is that you're designing. Don't necessarily, feel obliged to make it positive. I want to give a big welcome to Darcy, who has just finished cancer treatment for now. And a big welcome to Robin, who've just come in, both of you. Love you both. So happy you're here. I love, Mara, I'm just finding this chat that you have a part-time job as a carpenter. Dude, epic. Inga's bringing equanimity. Michelle is sending love to Darcy and Robin. How nice. Okay, let's go on to actionable task. Day 3, module 3 for design, choosing a positive affirmation or statement that resonates with you and repeating it throughout the day. Okay, I am now going to invite you to put that into the chat if you wish. Yeah, so happy you're here, Darcy. Third time and simplify, Robin. Awesome. Darcy will honor and love her body. Anyone else feel like sharing? You don't have to feel obliged, but if you want to. Barry, I am enough. Yeah, I have that. I have that. Thank you. Yeah, that is a good one. Okay. And the reminder, setting a reminder to check in with yourself midday, end of day, see how your attitude is affecting your day. That's it. Easy, nothing. And in the course, this is one of my favorites. But in the course, we really get into this question. Am I creating a bunch of tasks or extraordinary outcomes? And it's such an important question to ask. In the course, we'll go into this, like, what's the difference between a task and a project? And how is it that for many years I had lists of tasks and that felt useful? I felt accomplished when I would just check something off the list. I wasn't actually doing the things that I wanted to do. Janice, she didn't go out unless she was full gallop. Broadway play was written based on her life titled Full Gallop. Which editor was that? Rachel, I'm rooted, held, and capable. Beautiful. Lauren, I am unconditional love. I am sovereign. I am discerning. Erica, I am healthy and whole. Oh, Diana Vreeland, of course. I don't know how I didn't know that, but I wrote a paper on her for one of my projects my junior year in college. She's epic. Thank you for that, Janice. Rachel, third time and simplify. Barry, I've admittedly been so taken out by allowing myself to see the world and work as competition. You know, this is important. Raise your digital hand. It's at the bottom of your screen. If you have trouble reckoning with the world as supportive to you rather than in competition with you, do you have trouble with that? Do you see the world in competition with you or in support of you? One of the things that I find most important on earth in my life is to remember I am not competing with anyone except for myself if I'm choosing. Nobody. We have a few hands raised. Day 4, understanding triggers. This is important. The module is on awareness. And this, I'm going to encourage you to just get curious right now. Triggers is such a hard word for us, and being very curious about what this might carry for you. Really, it's about gaining control, as you can see now on my shared screen, over your emotional responses and really foster some inner peace when things get chaotic. So the prompt is, what current triggers seem to be stopping me from choosing my state? And I know a lot of you personally, and there are things that are real. There is a sick parent. There's a parent with cognitive decline. There's a sick child. There's a sick you, healing you. What are the current triggers? Seemingly is a very important word, stopping you from choosing your state. In the course, we map out specific triggers and we do this kind of reverse engineering of triggers. So they cause a certain, seem to cause a certain emotional response that leads to a bunch of thought, and then the thoughts become actions. It's really, talk about deafening, the sounds of our thoughts that are becoming beliefs. And to map out the triggers and explore the thought, the emotion, the behavior, reflecting on why they affect you, considering strategies to manage your responses. In the work that we do in this module, I feel like this might be the most important one, but we go through the event. I'm looking now at the modules guidebook in the course. The event that triggers you. What's interesting is it's hard to say if it's a thought that follows or an emotion that follows. I'm still working this out for myself, but usually I feel it as some sort of heart racing, belly flopping in my body. So it perhaps is more emotional than a thought, but who's to say? Then the thought that follows, then there's a belief that's created. When the thought becomes very ingrained, then there's an action taken based on this belief that who knows if it's true. And then there's a result based on the behavior or the action that's taken. To reverse engineer that, we start with the result that's desired. It's very, very interesting work. What do I want to happen? And what is the action that I would need to take? This is the reverse engineering. I'm giving you a little peek inside of the course. What is the belief or blueprint needed in order for me to take that action? What are the emotions and attitudes needed to set that belief into place? What are the thoughts? And again, the thoughts and emotions are kind of going hand in hand to set that belief in place. And then we get back to the event that is no longer a trigger. Super cool. So that's module 4. Let's go into the task, choosing one potential issue and planning to handle it differently the next time it occurs. Writing down your plan, perhaps committing to practicing it. And again, in the module, we go over the actual cycle. And then the reminder is that revisit, set some sort of reminder for yourself, however you like to do it. Revisit this plan for reworking your response to the trigger and check your progress in managing your own experience. Kind of designing how it is that you want to stay curious, aware, non-judgmental, non-mediated, so that you can offer an appropriate response no matter what arises. The teaching of a lifetime. I see you, Jax. Module 5. I do like this quote. What does stillness mean to me today? Can my stillness contribute to the sanity of the world? Can my stillness contribute to the sanity of the world? Okay, module 5, day 5, week 5. is called fluency. Michelle is tracking these in the chat, so you can see the sort of little synthesis and summary. How, and this is for you, Barry, for all of us, how do you synthesize and perceive mistakes and integrate mistakes? I don't know. I've looked around. Nobody's talking about this. The fluency with which you approach your day and move through sticky moments without letting them hold you or you holding them is an art form. We're gonna keep making mistakes. How do you allow them in and out? How do you accept yourself? How do you treat yourself in the silence of your own being when there's a mistake in the field? Failure in the field. I am not here to tell you you did not fail. I'm here to tell you you might be looking at it slightly differently. The prompt, what do I most love to do? What do I love so much I could do it all day without being tired or bored? For me, it's several things, and I want to give you the freedom. We talked about this yesterday in the Hive with a couple of the cohorts. I want to give you the freedom to do a lot of things. I do a lot of different weird things. Can you see the tabs open on my screen here up at the top? Can you see those? The Silence is a course from Ando. She's like just a really cool meditation teacher, Zen person, Muji student, elder that I love. This is a film that is coming soon about non-toxic fabrics. I used to be a clothing designer. This is a Maiwa School of Textiles. I'm learning how to dye with indigo. This is Frank's course, The 5 Remembrances at Upaya. And this is us. And then over here, there are a million other things. I'm starting a little charity in Costa Rica to Mudita is where we're taking local yoga teachers and getting retreat teachers who come from all these other places and teach these really fancy, expensive retreats to give one space per retreat to a local teacher. This is my final project for chaplaincy. This is my final portfolio with all of my papers. What 30 papers have I written so far? All of the links are papers I've written. Can you freaking imagine? This is the cleanse that I'm on. This is my Hold Nothing workbook notes for the launch. These are the blurbs from the people who have blurbed the book that I'm going to share. Like, wow, all these weird different things are happening. What the hell is going on here? I have to get back to the Simplify guide, so I'm going back there now. Allow yourself to do a million different things. And don't be shy. Don't go crazy. Map out your life so that, a couple days a week in the mornings, I'm writing papers. A couple days of the week in the afternoons, I'm going on a walk. Gonna go chill with Jimmy on a walk. Here's the exercise for this day or week. Reflect on past creations. Contemplate the forces that have led to those creations. In the beginning, I shared with you that Simplify was born of the fact that people kept asking me, how do you do all the weird different things that you do? And how do you organize your time? It's kind of how I think about things and how I organize my time. That's what this course is. In order to build resilience, resilience is readiness. I wrote about it this week on Substack. The most important thing for this body is a readiness to mount a response to assaults that are happening. Much as we would like that not to be true, that is what's happening. There are environmental assaults, there are informational assaults. How do we prepare the body to mount an appropriate response? So we think about the things that we've done in the past, and we think about what's been successful, quote unquote, which really means satisfying. Forget about whatever you're defining success as. Are you satisfied? Are you contented? That's success. And use this information. This is a much longer consideration, contemplation, of course, but use this information to consider how you want to approach tasks, challenges, creative projects, current things that you're working on. The information is all in you. It's not, I don't have it. I only have my own. So, what did work in the past? What were the forces that led to those creations working? And consider bringing those forward again. And the actionable task. Schedule time to engage in an activity that you love and reflect on how it energizes you. Tiny thing. I've been making juices. Right, instead of leaving myself 10 minutes to do it, I'm leaving a half an hour, and I'm very carefully peeling the peels off of the citrus fruits and washing all the things. I'm really enjoying it right now. And the energy that I'm getting from paying attention to it is ridiculous, priceless. And the reminder here is to just reflect on how you taking care of yourself in this way leads to a feeling of resilience and capacity. And dare I say, many of you who are here, I've seen you do this. I've seen you change a behavior, a belief, some sort of structure that you have put in place, and I have seen you just blossom and bloom. It's so exciting. That's my satisfaction. And again, we return to this concept of freedom in this before we go on to 6. What do I aim to achieve or accomplish, and how will this lead to more freedom for me? Freedom is always at the core of it. May all beings be happy and free. What helps you to feel free in your mind, free in your body? For me, weirdo that I am, the discipline of Zen helps me feel very free. I'm so weird in this. I know that. Jax and whoever else is interested, I just want to encourage you to read Shoes Outside the Door. Don't mind the subtitle. Just forget about it and just start reading it. It's very well written, and you're going to learn about all the humans that we know and love, all the elders, when they were just getting started. It's awesome. Wendy is in there with Peter, Wendy Johnson, Norman as the abbot, like right after the apocalypse with Baker Roshi. It's really cool. Formation of Tassajara, all that stuff. But it makes me think, the Darlene Cohen, who's Ryotan's teacher, had a comment about the freedom that she finds in the rigor of the Zen forms. And that's just me. Where do you, watching this right now, feel the most free? And let's go to day 6. This is fun. Find balance and flow by integrating your experiences. Integration. Very often we skip right over that thing, that whole process. And this is very important. Even after you've, let's say, created, attended some retreat or workshop or class even, how are you integrating the information? Day 6, exploring your growth. In what realm of my life have I synthesized my experiences in order to create a new paradigm for myself? So it's a great question. One of the other sort of catalysts for this course, people would ask me all the time about how I would leave a certain tradition and then go to another one, or exit stage left from a certain teacher and then find another one, and how I did that with so little drama or fanfare. In what realm of my life have I synthesized my experiences in order to create a new paradigm for myself? Not saying it's easy, just exploring. Okay. The exercise here is to write about any perceived failures and how they've led to new understanding and growth. I have a few. I wrote about one of them in the book. Real embarrassed. Spent years being ashamed about it. Hard stuff. But did lead to new understanding. Did lead to me working with Judith Lassiter. Did lead to a whole body of work, nonviolent communication, welcoming it into my life and into my family in a way that changed everything in my relationship with my kid and my partner. So again, you're going to be working on this for a long time, and I really want to encourage you to keep going. And I want to leave just a little bit of time at the end for questions. The actionable task here is to identify a recent challenge and write down what you learned. That's sort of like the shorthand version of, how you created a new paradigm for yourself and how that is now manifesting. And the reminder, of course, is to revisit the reflections on growth. And in this chapter, in this module rather, module 6, bravery. There are so many great questions in here, but one of them that I love, am I making myself available to learn? And there's kind of this funny thing that has happened to many of us where we sign up for lots of different things. We're available to learn, and then we don't actually finish the things. We don't. And this course might be that for you. You might have gone through modules 1 through 3 or 4 and sort of stopped. So I just want to encourage you, making yourself available to learn is not just going and signing up for another new thing. It's actually going back to the things for which you've already paid and finish. There's a lot of gold at the end of this course in this final module on bravery. But for the sake of this particular PDF and journey, we have a 7th day to embrace bravery. Here are 3 to 5 ways in which I've been brave in my life. No incidence of bravery is too small for this list. That is the prompt for this day, for this page, for this section, this session. And if you're having trouble identifying, I would ask a very good friend and say, would you mind to tell me a few ways in which you've seen me be brave in my life? Because we can't see ourselves, but our friends can. So lovely to hear also to get the affirmation from a good friend. So that prompt might be one that you have a friend answer for you. The exercise is to reflect on these acts of bravery and how they've shaped your personal growth and your courage in other realms. The actionable task is to share one of the acts that you discover with a friend or a loved one and discuss how it impacted you. And maybe I would add to this, to ask them to do the same. Or you can offer them a reflection of how you've seen them be brave. That could be interesting too. And the reminder is to acknowledge your bravery once a day. This is not self-congratulatory. This is just facts. Okay. So I'm going to stop this share now, and I would love to take some questions from you guys. I haven't been tracking the chat in some time, so I want to make sure that I see it. This call will be sent out as a recording. Yes, Robin. Great, Erin. Recent challenges taught you to have boundaries. It's great. Boundaries are so delightful. Lauren's going to come back to the course and complete it. Awesome. Great. Okay. Any questions at all? I want to encourage you to put them into the chat. I'm going to keep monitoring the chat. Anything? Bueller? Any questions? Nothing at all. You have me here. Darcy's going to start from scratch and do it all over again. We have a few people who are coming in right now thinking that now is the time. It's so hard with time zones. If you've just come in, we are just ending. And I will be sending you the recording, not to worry. We do have time for Q&A right now. Emma is finding the end of the day the most tricky. Finding yourself snacking and scrolling. So the end of the day is actually when I now do workouts. I shifted things a little bit. I heard from a friend of mine who's kind of a bodybuilding competitor. Really, you would never know this about her. I won't share who it is. She competes in sort of, let's say, elder women's bodybuilding competitions. Okay, so random. And she told me that she likes to work out after dinner. I was like, oh, okay. I'm just going to try it. It sounds so bizarre. So I started working out after dinner, and I find a really good sleep after that. So I eat my dinner and I work out with weights. It's not yoga that I do in the morning here, but it's a weight training, resistance training. And after dinner, I have a lot of fuel. I have a lot of energy, and I just do it. It takes about 30 to 40 minutes. And it's been awesome, I have to say. Like that's how I manage the end of the day. There's no scrolling happening. How do you prioritize creative time versus training time when time is limited? So I actually go by day. So one day is going to be a creative hour. The next day is going to be a training hour, whatever the class that I'm taking online. When I say training, I mean learning. Weight training happens pretty much 5 to 6 days a week after dinner now. Yeah, it's interesting. I appreciate also the slow and thoughtful morning, and I was missing that. Like I wanted it so badly, and I get it in my meditation, and then the day begins, whether I'm teaching or whatever I'm doing. And I really like the end of the day workout. I feel really clear. My mind feels clear. I'm going to bed with clear chemistry. You know, often I'll take a shower after that or a bath even if I can. So, okay. Any other questions? What is your evening routine after your workout? Nothing major, really. I work out, I get in the shower or the tub. I have a little sweat, and I wind down with a book in my hands. Unless I'm traveling, in which case I have the Kindle because it's just so light, but I always wind down with a book in my hands. I lower all the lights in the room. Sometimes I'll put on, I have this little thing called a Helite. I think I put it on my gift guide. The Helite is a tiny little red light thing and I turn the red light on and the whole room sort of, it's just sitting on my nightstand, the whole ceiling lights up kind of red, and it's a really good way to wind down. This is after I've put my book down, I turn the red light on and it stays on for about 20 something minutes. And the science indicates that when you have your eyes closed and there's red light coming into your eyes with eyes closed, it initiates a cascade of chemicals that actually helps you to fall asleep and then stay asleep longer. I tried it and it worked, so I share it. Okay, if you're just coming in, we're just ending. We are on at the end of the hour, and I'm just taking some questions now, normalizing the various methods. Yeah, Amy, it's just not, you don't need to hone in. That was really inspired by our talk yesterday in Hive regarding this. Do I need to be one kind of person? Like, no, you don't. You can be creative and be productive and be a business person and be painter and a poet. And you can be all the things you want to be. Just be exactly who you are. Shahaf, thank you so much. Lauren Albert, discernment, sovereignty, triggers, love that section. Something we can ask ourselves in starting every day. Yeah, totally. Your regulated nervous system is everything you give to the world. That's it. Big love and respect to you, Lori. Thank you for your kind words. Tend to leave creativity to the end of your list, Emma. Yeah. How much time do you allocate to work and then creative? So let's see, in the last few days, I would say it's been about 4 to 5 hours on email, if I'm honest. And that email time includes writing online and, zhuzhing up a paper that I just finished and sending it along. Maybe making some changes to my little capstone paper that's not so little. It's coming along, nowhere near done. Due in a year, basically, a little less than a year. And then the rest of the day is like, I sit here and I have tea, and I write and I look and I chill and I go for a walk with James and I go pick up the pails at the bottom of the hill, the garbage pails, and I fold the laundry, make another juice or make a lunch for us. Multifaceted like a gem, yes. Darcy, I'm so glad you made it. Rachel K, so glad you made it. Oh, that's awesome. Hopefully you'll come as a volunteer. Oh, it is on there. Cool. On the gift guide. Great. The Helite. It's a very cool product. This is recorded. You will be receiving the recording, not to worry. Brooke, awesome. Weave it in. And Layla is asking, am I in Santa Fe? At the moment, I am. I'll be at Upaya this afternoon, making some flower arrangements for Roshi. Yeah, leaving in a couple of weeks again. It's nice to be home. Okay. Michelle will be sending out the recording this afternoon. If there are no other questions, I will bow out. Is there anything else?
Elena, I did have a question.
Great, tell me.
Um, I was just asking in the chat about um, if you have any resources for writing. Like as far as like I'm trying to incorporate more writing, like as you said, as creating for resilience, but a lot of times I'm stuck on what to write or how to get writing. And I love flow writing, but I'm always looking for resources for that. So if you have any to share, I was
Yeah.
gonna ask.
There's one course that I actually have that I bought, Geertje Cohenberg. Let me just see if I can find the link really fast. Geertje Cohenberg. Let's see if I can find it. Geertje, there we go. She's awesome. and I'm gonna put it into the chat for you guys, everyone. So she has this really awesome 365 days of prompts. And actually, I'm gonna use a couple, and of course, give her credit, when we start to share the book that's coming in November, Hold Nothing, and I do some, workshops with it. Some of these prompts are really incredible. And just to take a prompt like that and begin, you said you like flow writing, Erin, so that may be a really cool way to start. I mean, there's a prompt as silly as like a bumper sticker that I saw. And then there's another one that I just saw yesterday that I actually saved. Let me just find it for you because it was so profound to me. Dear Cohenberg, writing prompt day 43, what my inner voice says. I just basically about died. Whoa. It confirmed what I shared with you earlier, something quite personal that we all have this inner voice. Mine was saying some really mean, shitty things about my own partner with whom I've been for over a decade. And I started to reconcile that, notice it, and began to actually speak what I needed aloud, making gentle, nonviolent requests, both of myself and of him, giving myself empathy, giving him empathy, so that my inner voice can chill. We all have that. And I watched, if I'm honest, I watched my mother. Her inner voice was so mad. She died when she was 69. I'm really now seeing how young that is and how her anger, unexpressed, untended, contributed to her early death. And of course, everything is as it should be. And of course, my relationship with her is amazing now. And I imagine my father's relationship with her is amazing now. But it was hard to watch. So that's one prompt. Can you imagine, Erin? Like, that was a whole world that I just spoke about, that I could write about, that I won't until my father's gone. And of course, yeah, Jax. Natalie Goldberg has a deck that I love. The Writing Down the Bones deck is awesome. And that deck has, cards that you pull for writing prompts. Thank you, Jax. That's an awesome contribution to that question. So we're wrapping up. I just want to make sure there are no other questions before we wrap. I have time. So if you have questions, please feel free. Those of you who just came in, you will receive the recording. Sorry that you were an hour off. I understand completely about time zones being on a mountain time now. Seems like Eastern time is the center of the universe. Anything else? Anya, Adriana, Inga, Saint Sydney, Erica Sydney, Maiken, Jen. Nice to see you. Okay, you're sure. Namaste. Namaste. Okay, we'll bow out together. Would anyone like to sit for just a couple minutes? I would like to sit. So I'm going to sit for 5 minutes, and you're more than welcome to join me if you like. It's just getting colder over here. What the hell is going on? I'm going to tuck my scarf into my sweater. Okay, let's sit. I'll keep my eyes on the time. We'll sit for 5 minutes. Allowing yourself to settle with each inhalation, kind of gathering your attention, your energy. With each exhalation, letting it all settle. It's the ground beneath you, feeling the earth supporting you wherever you are, no matter how far away the actual ground is. allowing everything to be in its place in your field of vision. And maybe even allowing your eyes to be slightly open, gentle, gazing at a point on the floor or the table in front of you. Allowing your gaze to be receptive, easeful, quiet. In this final minute or two, allowing your spine to rise tall, feeling the sense of freshness in your posture, softness in your heart. Feeling yourself attuned to your own body and to the space in which you find yourself. You can bring your hands to gasho, palms together. Just take a moment to dedicate the merit of our time together to all beings, to anyone suffering. Feel the uprightness in your own body as you do this. And thank you for your practice. Thank you so much. What a pleasure. If you have any questions on the course at all, on any of the 6 modules of the course, if you're taking the course already and you have questions, feedback, anything, feel free to email me, info@elenabrower.com. That's only me. Nobody else answers my email but me. And thank you so much for being here today. Very energizing for me. Thank you. Feel free to unmute yourself and say goodbye if you'd like. Yeah. Bye, guys. Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you, Elena.
You're welcome. Those of you who are in the Alberto course, I'm going to see you again on the 14th of this month, in 1 week from today. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mike, and nice to see you. I feel you. Feel you. I do. Anya, Sydney, Inga, Mara, Leah, Lauren, Carla. Hi, sister. JL, Jamie Lynn, nice to see you. Beautiful. Jax, thank you again for coming. It's always so nice to see you here. Thank you. See you soon. And thank you, Michelle, for all your help. Truly appreciate you. Hour 17, that's my number. Bye.